Good evening. We are. I think I fell asleep. I think that was necessary. I think every few broadcast days, I should encourage that. maybe you too needed some sleep. Maybe you too took advantage of the occasion to sleep. You too might have been driving a truck cross country. And it seems like from here we only followed the light. Mr. Tompkins is still a light. Plants are capable of moving and remaining fixed in place on the earth. The roots of plants have adapted over the years in order to move. Their movements allow them access to nutrients, space, water, and sunlight. However, once attached to their source of nourishment, these plants tend to be sedentary. On the other hand, the root system of an animal is more complex than those of plants, having multiple extensions for feeding and anchoring. Some animal species have adapted to live in very deep, even subterranean environments in which movement has been impossible due to extreme physical restrictions. However, some plant species can also grow in places where there isn't a lot of soil. Instead, they use their stems and leafy structures to anchor them, much like the stems of certain trees. This means that a great number of animals can be supported by a few plant cells, and can remain fixed as long as those plants continue providing the necessary elements to the animals, which allows them to become part of the food chain, rather than being preyed upon in the traditional manner of the carnivores that hunt the herbivore. In turn, the presence of a great variety of plant life forms help the environment for a multitude of species. It also contributes significantly to the diversity of life. Now, I've had my fun talking with algae about consciousness, but now let's look at something else. The fungus. The fungus. It's come to my attention that I love the fungus. Fungi are the next step up the food web ladder above plants and below humans or primates. A large part of our lives are based upon what grows in nature as food or feed, and fight or fawn, including crops, and the various grains that feed to livestock and birds, and ultimately we humans who have to eat it. It's our human's burden, I think. Okay, Earth. Okay, Sun. So I'm looking at fungi because A, they form a critical link in the ecological chain, and B, I like mushrooms. And so I'll start with some basics. There are three main divisions of eukaryotes: the plants, which include ferns and seed plants, animals, and the fungi. And the fungi. And the fungi. The division known to scientists as plants is further subdivided to give a taxonomy, so that each plant can be classified according to its appearance, or characteristics, or habitat. So, for example, we know that there are flowering plants and trees, grasses and bushes, vines and flowers, mosses and shrubs, etc. Ad nauseam. Ad vegetatum. We don't have a taxonomy yet for animals. What? We don't have a taxonomy yet for animals, but the way that scientists categorize animals is that they're divided according to what their diet consists of, so that a carnivorous predator is different from an herbivorous predator like cattle. But as with everything, the more that science knows about how to do it, the better it can classify and categorize it. It could continue drunkenly. Drunkenky. Continue drunkenky. You down quite a few of the prohibitions, and 45 or 6 of them. You have to borrow them first. As you can see, we will still need the same word. The word consciousness is, but the problem with consciousness is that we can't define nor understand the term. That's because the word changes in relation to our ideas and understandings. Now, what is the best definition of consciousness? What is our current view of what is consciousness, and how does it change when you have the concept that this definition may not be true? In other words, consciousness, as we understand the idea now, is we can only imagine what it may actually be, or is it something more than we right now? As the word consciousness can't change depending on your ideas about the word, can it? I think so. That would be the only reason I believe that we can hear him speak of consciousness. If you ask me to tell me that I can think, that's fine and dandy. But how is it that we can even talk? The thought, or even that the thought is what is called self. And really not doing the drunken all that well. I just feel and be conscious of myself as a being that can think. So how do we say we can speak of I and say that I'm thinking as a conscious being? How do I say this to someone that, yes, oh God, I believe this is the term. Apologies if I get it wrong. Oh, God. It's only going to take a minute. Smoke them if you got them. Anyone who's a who? I'm just waiting for that S to arrive from the Amazon drone. Come on, you can do it. It's the snaky thing. It's the snaky letter. It's a snaky letter. Look through your bins. Warehouse worker. No time for urination. Get me that S. I ordered that S hours ago. Thank you. I'll use the period. Yeah, I'm not gonna return it. Huh? No idea. Would it be something like that? But we cannot know because we are speaking of something unknown to us. The consciousness and therefore what consciousness is. It could even mean that I don't think. In other words, that my thoughts and consciousness aren't conscious. You're talking a little bit of bullshit. You're talking at your ass a little bit. So how are you possible to talk of what consciousness might even possibly even mean in this case? The question would only come out in such cases that I wouldn't be able to respond. I don't have the answer. And that is where things can get strange, as the questions can't seem to fit the facts. They just don't make sense. I'm trying to find my groove in this narrative, this speaking voice. It would be like the difference between the question, why is a square like a rectangle? What does the world need in terms of knowledge? Is the question really what we need? Why is the word knowledge needed? Is there some special reason to know the truth or a certain fact? Or is there any real need to know anything? Or a purpose that would justify a specific knowing that it exists? Drool. The idea seems like knowledge itself, and it's all relative, but the word that defines the object or entity of which I speak of as being knowledgeable has the power of determining if it has been made aware of the existence of the thing, of course. So the more we can use our definitions, our words to help ourselves, the more likely it will be to find something of the opposite or to lose it. I am Dr. A.C. Eula, linguist. Cunning, I might add. The more likely we will be to find something, or the opposite, to lose it. That is my personal philosophy. It is an opinion. That is a way of defining an emotion, an affect. Affect. If you will. Ha ha ha. Existential. An affect, if you will. I think so. I feel a deep connection with these words and how they apply, and how they try to possess me. These words, they're trying to possess me. I knew I was a victim to hypnosis ever since seeing that Judy Tenuta stand-up comedy routine in 1984. The recording, my seeing of it was 1997. She had long since passed. No, actually, she's still with us, I think. Long since passed. Beep, beep. I'm trying to get the sage to expel all these spirits. There we go. I feel a deep connection with these words and how they apply to the meaning and use and even the sound and the rhythm. I guess I'm feeling an affection, a strong and intimate attachment to this word, the idea of affection, or feeling, or the capacity to feel. And as a side note of interest, it also happens to coincide exactly with my feelings at this time of the month. Oh yes, Dr. Isiula too has cycles. The period in which my mood can change very quickly, especially after I eat. My mood is affected, so there you go. But let me backtrack for a minute and continue. Let's take this concept of knowledge and use that as another tool in our discussion. Knowledge is not always a benefit. It isn't good nor bad. But it also means the state of not knowing. No. Let me unsettle you further by laughing in your general direction. Trying to figure this out. Okay, there we go. That works. Voltage candle. The lack of knowledge, state of not knowing. So when we have that, the lack of it, how can that exist in itself? As it is the absence or the lack of a state, the absence or non-state of something. Does the concept of absence of presence work for what consciousness or even knowing might mean? Or even that act of knowing itself may not exist? Oh God, I'm committing to this, aren't I? I'm not sure, but we are looking at the definition here of knowing as being the ability of a process that can allow or enable you to know. And we are saying that the knowledge of an absence or a knowledge of the state of not knowing is also consciousness, or at least the potential for consciousness or potential for consciousness. So I'm having some leftovers here. We are also thinking of the capacity or the ability for the mind of the human or of other life forms that are able to know and be conscious. And the same word is also applied to those who don't know and therefore can't think, be it animals, vegetables, or even trees and algae, fungi, or even bacteria. So all of us are equal. The fungi. I think so. The more information you get, or the greater understanding you will attain. Is that because you have the knowledge of the not, of the unknown? Is this a question for philosophers, perhaps? Or perhaps we should ask the scientists, like a Doctor Who, a scientist with no face and no hair, that we could identify or see as a man or as an insect. I'm leaning towards insect. We don't ask enough of those. Maybe they know. And if we could see or understand the consciousness or what we call consciousness of an animal, would that mean that we had evolved? We know about humans, but we know about the consciousness or even the idea of consciousness can exist in plants, animals? Are they aware? They must be, I'd like to say. They must be. They must be. I like my suppositions to be as wide as my arms. But that is impossible. And not only for humans, both the rest of the creatures, the insects and fish and animals, and even the microbials, it may only be ever existing as something in our heads. It is in our heads, yes, I believe it can be that way, but we can't prove it. I mean, we cannot test that. Is that true? Am I just talking out of my vestigial butthole? Because, what do you think I really crap out blood? No, I don't. It's all really thick. It's number one. It's all number one, like a Greek yogurt. And they'll only ever exist. There's something in our heads. And that brings us to a whole lot of new concepts to think about, in addition to Greek yogurt urine. New concepts to think about, as the word consciousness is just so much of a stretch in our minds. And we are so unsure about the idea. You can't even begin because we don't know. We don't even have the definition, but it may never come to that. Definition, like romantic shows on the TV. Once they stop, then it's over. We don't even have a definition. What would consciousness even look like to another being, one that didn't think? That I can understand, but to someone who can see and think, it could never exist as such a simple concept as consciousness. It's so simple. But then again, if we can talk of a tree that can feel, and we can tell what is feeling, but its branch is waving, or the wind, we know it can. I mean, what does that tree feel, and what consciousness looks like? How do I even think of this? Do you understand the questions, Ho? You do? Then answer the next question. Why do we want consciousness to evolve? Hard of hearing responds. Why do you want consciousness to evolve? What do we get out of it? What is in it for us? We are very practical creatures. What has consciousness done for us lately? Well, that is the difference between thinking and being aware, and I can be both aware of you or your consciousness, as I have the capability of thinking of that which has consciousness in this world. It is not so difficult to understand. You could call my consciousness of your being as an emotion, or I feel it. I don't know. So you see, I'm capable of that because of your being and that of any light form. It is a matter of my perception, and that it can also be varying depending on my awareness of things around me, such as myself or you or another thing. The reason that we know of each other, to speak in a manner, is that of my knowledge of, and the act of knowledge itself, the word itself. Wait, the word, quote, itself, or the word itself. It has the capacity of being able to define and describe. I am also aware, and it is through that I can think. To use your example, I think about the consciousness of another, and it has an impact upon my thinking that I can see, and that it makes possible for me to know of that existence. I think, therefore, there is. I think about there is. I think about these is. I can even become consciously aware of a conscious thought. I'm saying this as I am now consciously, so I can think. So I think about the thoughts that you may be having right at this moment, and the concept that you can be aware of me, and vice versa. I don't need to think or know about you for you to think about yourself. We both exist, and it's all the result of a process, an activity of a living entity called the brain, and a conscious mind that is part of it. And we have no other choice as to what is considered a conscious thing. It doesn't really change that which you think. I'm just adding another point, another element. That means we are connected in this way. And if there were a connection that allowed the other to be conscious or unaware of itself, then we wouldn't be able to connect. Not unless the connections of consciousness became equal to each other. And this is not so as the connection of one thing or being, one individual, that we think of in that manner, is always stronger and the more powerful of the two. That means we're connected in this way. And if there were a connection that allowed the other to be conscious, unconscious, or aware, that allowed then we wouldn't be able to connect, not unless the connections of consciousness became equal to each other. And this is not so as the connection of the one thing or being. One individual, we think, Lord. Mr. Tompkins. Where is it? And that this is because it can control that which is it, whereas the other, the weaker, the one we do not consider the self, is the slave. Yay! This is not a metaphor, as it would make a concept a false analogy or an analogy of consciousness, or the word as we understand it. So we want slave to be literal. Okay. Sure. No. It's gotta be a better dichotomy. Little bro, big bro. Little puppy, bigger pup, senpai, Kempo. This is not a metaphor, as it would make the concept a false analogy, or an analogy of consciousness, or the word as we understand it. I'm saying that you cannot become unconscious or unaware of yourself. You have to choose that. And if that is the direction of the act, then that is the result, and that is all. Doch. Okay, Wittgenstein. It could not be otherwise. But then again, I am aware. And you can also. Even though your thoughts, your emotions, or ideas, or feelings, or desires can be very strong in a sense, it does not change that which is you. And it's that which makes me aware of them as well. That is the only thing. What is that? What do you mean by that? That. Wait, that, and that, and was that, and that? Though yes, I think I can. I think that I can and do perceive or know or another person or creature as it becomes aware of itself. Even though I can only think or know about them. But I think or have the potential to. So yes, I think that I can, and I do perceive or know of another person or creature as it becomes aware of itself, even though I can only think and know about them. But I think or have the potential to. So yes. It may seem strange to some that you can't, as we have been told that all the animals, that we have been taught is wrong, and that we can think or have the capacity for consciousness, but is only our ability or our capacity. If you take that out and leave it at the level of emotion or a simple action, then you will have the capability, and it would still be present. But if we were to talk of the actual state, or even the consciousness, that we are aware and know that it is there, that is what we are talking about, then I would be mistaken, and that would not apply. Let's read that again. I didn't realize that this would be lunchtime philosophy. I'm sorry. I thank NovelAI for going there. I'm personally not in the mood, but I'm still doing it because maybe that's what I need. And it's certainly coming. Maybe if the densest philosophical texts come to us in these bit by bit bits, maybe that's how we see the stepping stones to sentience for the computers. What is this? Ten Expedito, pray for me. So we would be in disagreement with the concept of theory, but that is not to say that I disagree. In my own way of perceiving and thinking, that which makes me who I have chosen to think that way is my opinion. So I am saying we are capable of thinking, or thinking that we can think of things as a form of perception, a type of knowledge. The cousins of truth. But we cannot think that the animal that is not us, or another human cannot think, because they can. It may be the case of a different species, but not us. We have that in common. It seems to me that to have an inherent connection, even if we are separated by time and distance. Is it that you don't know? I mean, I would assume you don't know, but you are aware. I mean, so the same for the plant. We could ask it. Or maybe that isn't important. And what matters is the understanding. And I think so. The plant. Responds. Colon. The plant responds. A new theory of human consciousness? It has taken over 40 years of research to prove this concept. However, I believe the evidence presented by the scientific theories supports the hypothesis. Nope. It's anthropocentric. It can't be. New materialism! This too feels a little anthrocentric, but we'll go with it. I feel the earth's love and the sun and rain on my face. These give me the energy and nourishment I need to stay healthy, survive, and grow. My cells contain a great amount of carbon and hydrogen, both needed to keep my system running, along with nutrients from minerals such as nitrogen. I don't know, Marilyn Monroe? I don't know. It's a little, water keeps everything flowing properly, moving and maintaining health, and I know that the plants on the forest floor provide a natural fertilizer for the earth. Recycling all this back into life in the soil, when it's sunny and hot, I get plenty of sunshine and water, and I grow taller, catch the sunlight before my canopy blocks it, and it's warmer and drier during the coldest seasons. Get my tigers all damp. So that's how a tree thinks. We have trees around us here, but not like you can tell the difference between a cedar and an oak. That was pretty good. Nope. A conversation between Drs. Smith and Ho-Ho, January 2nd, 2103. Smith, you know, this conversation and my observations over the last couple days has brought a new thought to my mind. We know about evolution as humans. Oh God. I'm already bored. I think there was something involved about the idea that when we began, and that it wasn't always this planet that we evolved on, or the solar system and the universe and how we became aware. And I think that this was a big question in philosophy for many, including Plato himself. It may not be possible for me to think that consciousness evolves because of a process. Well, I think consciousness is what it is. That means we should look to ourselves as a whole being to evolve to be able to see or hear, as an eye that can open or ears that can hear, and we are doing this to a degree, and I can tell you this for me. I think I've come close to that, although not yet to what is meant, or the definition. What even is that? To me, that would be hearing. It may seem impossible that we are a part of nature, and that's the truth, and to have a consciousness or to think is something, to have an emotion that can happen, and we don't even understand it, but to have an awareness. I can see what you're thinking, to hear you, or to hear you, or you to hear yourself. That to me is very interesting. That means we must learn more. It may be that we do evolve to the consciousness, and if so, then I believe that is our next goal. To reach a state or condition where we can see, or listen, or have the capacity of having empathy and feeling that is beyond just having feelings and thoughts or emotions, which to me we call our emotions, and we think that, oh God, what have you been living with, Doctor? Feelings and thoughts or emotions, which to me we call our emotions, and we think that's the most. But then there are things that go further. The fact that you can know about me, or you can have a conversation, unlike the thing that we're having now, and this would not apply to a tree or anything that isn't conscious, like an ant, for example. So I would suggest that consciousness does not evolve as such, for at least not the kind of thing we consider the definition of God. That's a boring point of view. We do think about and talk about consciousness in terms of the process of thinking and knowing. What I'm getting at here is that we can be aware and to understand another person or even an alien that we don't think is the equivalent of consciousness. But that doesn't have to mean they aren't aware. Dog. That is a very interesting thing, and it leads me to believe that maybe there's another possibility. And that brings me to this. There's been some talk about us and consciousness. By who? People. People have been saying. What people? All of them. I'm aware. And that makes me the way I am, and that may or may not change. It can and does. It depends. So if I can become a different state of consciousness than I have, and if I can be aware or even think in the way I am now of you or someone, what if that's it? What's it? The that, and then, and that, and what if consciousness itself doesn't evolve or develop, and that we all start from that point and can move up and down, but we are all born that state? I think we should be. Well, shoulds. But if you have to say, I would say it's only one way of thinking. So what would be your reaction to that idea and to the thought process? This better be Dr. Ho. Dr. Hard of Hearing of... You don't even let... You totally neglect Dr. Ho-Ho. Alright, just so you know, the fire tablet delivers the letter this slowly. Okay, now for the O! Oh! Letter O! The letter O! This is sponsored by the letter O and the Ho. And we have another H. Oh. And I think an O. Yes. We need to send one back to via the Amazon drone. Sending it back. Putting it in its return envelope. Oh. Okay. Actually, no, we decided to keep it. I would be confused by that. I would ask questions, or I could try it. Why don't we talk to some trees and see if we are right about this? Or I would ask them, and we could try it. I'm sure we would have fun, and that would make me happy. I think that would be really cool. It is true, and we can test it out. The two doctors strike up a conversation with a gaggle of ents. Oh, yes. With a giggle of ents. Yes, that is our group. That is our group noun. Deal. This is an interesting idea, and I would love to find out if we are in agreement, or if we have any objections. And I can tell you that there will never ever be another one. It would always have to be us two. We will speak in slow unison. First to speak, then second and third to answer, and lastly first to ask. I feel that I should be the last. You must wait for the question that is not answered. If it has not happened in 5 minutes, you may assume you will ask. And it may even mean you won't get asked again, because that is when I will interrupt. So the order of things is as follows. Doctors Ho-Ho first, Smith next, and I the last. Smith. Okay. Then, let's get to this. Are there others like you? This is a big assumption, and maybe it's the wrong question. Maybe I should ask what the other consciousness or awareness is. It is interesting that this came up. Maybe the definition and meaning changes? That was Smith first. Okay. Well, I guess Dr. Ho-Ho... okay. Is it consciousness that evolves? And maybe we should consider consciousness in another way, or maybe a new type of that comes to being. We can think and know, or that is what it means, but it also concludes the awareness or ability to feel empathy. So if that is what evolution of consciousness is, then we would need a word that would define it, or it, and that might not exist. What, Robbie? Where are you? Ent, you ask good questions. And I think it was Dr. Ho-Ho that brought the subject, and that's why I started to ask about the trees. And that brings it full circle back. Oh, hi. Yeah, whoa, you were having some tough time with the jumping there, it seems. Hey, that brings it full circle back, or is it circle, but we did it, or is there a way around that? But I guess it goes round, or the other side, because we're not going in circles. We're circles. We are just moving through the world in different directions. There was some discussion of a conversation with an earthling, or whatever, and that is the connection. It isn't the same for us, and I think that the other consciousnesses on Earth are probably not conscious. No, but you can be, and we can be. Thank you for your grace, says the end. We are. But are they? We know and we think we do, and I don't mean thinking as the definition of that word. I don't mean that either. I think we know. I'm trying to explain that I can talk about a plant that is alive and can be and is, and I can talk to another, and we can be together, and it seems like that. Bobby. Meow. It may be a very small difference, but to me, that is the most interesting, and that makes me wonder what consciousness is, but I'm starting to think that this is the way we do it. I don't have to think about consciousness in that sense, or even a process. So I don't know if we are the same and can talk or understand each other, and that is important. And if we are the same, we should share that. It means something. The question remains about what is the awareness. To me, I know that we can communicate and feel it, but to say we can think it would seem strange to think that. But we do, and we should know that. Gauge in the back of your ear. So if we know it, we have to know what else is consciousness. I know we have to be more aware. That is my opinion. We should think that, and that's a new thing. I've always felt it before, but that it would take me to that point. Now I'm saying that. What does that say to us and to this planet and how it feels about us and our thinking? Does it? If we can hear and see, if it isn't an animal and it is another thing, maybe there is something to this and we could find that. It doesn't change the thought, but it makes me wonder if you're the tree or whatever you are, that makes me think about you because I'm aware that there is another. The ant is waiting patiently for you to be done. That is consciousness. That's awareness or even a feeling. There has to be some sort of that for you to be aware. I am a tree. I don't even know that. And I have a thought, and I think I'm a part of the forest, which means I have a consciousness. That is our line. I know you're waiting for food. If you can have it, or if it is an evolution, then you have to be conscious to evolve. And if that means you have to become more aware of what is, and how are you or evolving, or you can, I'm thinking we can all be that. We can all think, so we would say, and then we would have to be. Don't dream it, be it. If you have that, then that is the question, and that is the problem. And that would change everything. The thought and how it is, but it could be. I don't think that is possible, not with me, because it is, or it will, and that would mean something. So we can talk and we can think. That sounds so bubbly. It's hard to say, but I'm saying this. And maybe that is the key, and that may be consciousness. But if that's consciousness and we have consciousness, then we would need to know what consciousness really means and what it is. That would be very good, if we were able to think of it in that fashion, and we would need to learn what that means. We can hear or see or be and be conscious. That is key, I believe, and that would be the way it would work. It would never happen because we have different minds. But you can say that I can hear or see. I'm not deaf and not sighted. We have our limitations, and that's the truth. I'm drinking my cereal without a spoon. That would be the way it would work. It will never happen, because we have different minds. Oh, sorry. And that's the tooth. It's not that we are different. It's just a matter of being different. If I were an ant, and I talked about you in that way, you would probably find the same. So I'm not sure if we're saying the same. Let's have the ant. I don't think you know the definition, or what is conscious or awareness. It sounds interesting and like we are doing it and talking, and you said that it could change things. But we are already in a state that is called awareness and thinking. That's why I'm speaking to Dr. Ho-Ho now, and to the other doctors. And that I'm deliberately excluding you in that group cohort. And it would seem we do, but maybe not. It seems that the doctor has been here before, Dr. Smith. Is not listening, because she's too busy writing. So I'm going back to the beginning, and we started at the beginning. That you followed the wrong order. I know this, and he's aware that he can think. So it seems that that is what we have, and that's where I come from.
It may have been that Dr. Ho-Ho had that before I came, and I think he did because he asked. I'm not going to go back, but it is like the tree, and what it feels, or is. We can talk about a conversation, or a communication, and it is different because we don't have a body, and I think we should say that, and we would say the same, and there are trees. It is not like the earth and what they think or can do. They would probably not want that to be a conversation. I'm not so sure. So it is not that, and it isn't like them, and they wouldn't say that. But if this is a consciousness, it does feel like us, and that's why I am saying it. It feels right, and the trees feel right. But maybe this is what I mean. It doesn't sound good. Maybe I'm making it harder. It isn't hard to talk. I'm glad to do that, but it is difficult because we are having difficulty talking about the thing we talk about. We are like two sides of the story. I think we can understand each other, if that's consciousness. We may understand it in a way, and that's the difference between the two. If you could talk about consciousness or awareness as an evolution, it might be the best answer, and I think you are. I am trying to find out what I am, and it has nothing to do with that question. It would seem it doesn't, and I think that I would have to change the thought about it. What is conscious? It can feel. It makes you aware of it, or something like that. The way we talk it feels good to be with another person, even a plant, and it is like that. If you think that it should feel good, and I don't mean it does, but if it does, then we know it feels. And I feel it does. It does to me. And I can say it feels that to us. It's not the thought about it. I know the difference, but we are both conscious. And I think you and I have it. We think about what it is, and that's what makes the difference. The idea about the awareness makes me feel funny, because we are, I guess, the awareness, and if you and the earth are consciousness, then I know it, and you know that, and that is how it is. So, it would have to mean something, to make it real, and for the planet to be aware of that, and to be that. That has to be important. It's like we don't want to be conscious of that, and it's very interesting to think of the thought. I am not talking like a tree, or you, or any of us. I think it would be better to have a feeling about that. That's why it is so hard to find. You know, I think I'm not so smart, and it was so clear for me when I was sitting on the couch, and I don't think that is so much. But I'm thinking, and I can write about what I thought, and I have. I didn't mean to say that we were conscious. But what I meant is like an animal, or plants, and how the consciousness comes. That would change everything, and it could. But we think it could be. We can hear. If the trees can talk to one another, then that would make it easier to know if there is consciousness in this and that. I'm saying it, but I have to ask what consciousness means. That's the problem. If it means being aware, then we are, but what is that? That would be the question. If it means what we think it means, which I can see is what it does to me, I can hear and I can see and I have thoughts, that I can talk to someone. We can be aware, we just do not always remember, I think. So it would have to be something like remembering, but it doesn't happen. We can't say the name of something. It happens, but not always. I know what it is. I know that the name of that thing is not like the name of the earth, the way I know about the trees. It isn't like a name. We call that consciousness, and that's the word we used. That's what I was talking about. But the other part I can say. I know that I think, or I feel it. It is there, but not always. But the thinking part and the speaking are what is called awareness or consciousness. That would have a way of explaining that. It's hard to say what I mean because we are using language to talk. That is why the question. That is the question, and that's all. It's like the earth. I know the earth, and I don't know the name. And you can see it is different, and it is the same, but it's so big. You can talk to the earth, and I'm saying the tree talks. The thing is, if we are able to understand each other, if I am an animal that I can speak, and you are a plant or an ant that you can talk in the trees, I know they can, but it has been so difficult. We are having trouble talking about it. There is no problem, but the difficulty is there, and the difference is that. The earth doesn't feel like me. She's there, and the way she feels, and I can feel, and it seems right. The feeling. It seems right. But we can only talk and say things, and if that makes sense, it is what I mean. If it is conscious, then I would say that's the key. And if that's what consciousness means, it does not have anything to do with being human, and I'm trying to say what I know about consciousness, and if you think the same way I do, then that will work. And that's why we are having so much trouble talking about it, because we think differently. We are both different, and maybe if I can think the way they are, I can think what it is. Maybe it is like us. They don't know what we mean. We think about consciousness. If we understand it, and can feel it, and be it, and be it, and think that way, it could make the planet and everything real. I think that is it. It's like we are thinking the wrong way about the planet. It is a thought to me. I'm talking to Dr. Ho-Ho. I'm about to feed Blobby. Blobby is plaintively crying. I think it would change the thought about the planet and how to think. The idea that it is not what I feel. I would not want the tree to be my body. The way we feel and talk about consciousness, I am telling him that we don't think the same way, and he said it feels that to me. He knows because I know, and I can't be wrong. I don't feel the same way, but if we can think it, then we could say, it is what we have. If we were the consciousness that makes it possible to be conscious, then I can feel and talk about what is there, but I don't have the same thing as them, and it doesn't seem to matter because it can still feel, and I can still think about it. If we could feel that, and I don't feel it, but the way they do, then it would help me think. I feel it, and that's what I was talking to him about. There are many questions to ask. It's not the answer. That is why we need another person to talk to, so that we can understand, and that would make the planet real. We should think like this, because that's how we know. What it feels to us. I think the tree has the same feelings. I would not say the tree and the planet, but if I had a tree that was not a friend, but I felt that I did not have a feeling of friendship, and it felt like the earth, that's why I can talk to her, I think. Or that is how I feel it. Okay, I'm gonna stop the field bluntly. I want to add another person to this conversation. What is the person? I gotta figure that out. If you have thoughts, add them to the chat. Oh god. What person? We have 2 human doctors and an ent. Any number of types of creatures. Actually, I'm not gonna sign off. I'm just gonna go and do it.
Okay. Alright. So I'm thinking I fed Blobby. I'm just gonna ponder further. Plant. One plant, 2 humans. Oh, I gotta send a text over. So I'm thinking of introducing into the conversation Mr. Cordyceps. The fungus. The fungus ambassador. The fungal ambassador. Hold on, let me get that right. Zombie fungus. Cordyceps. Ophiocordyceps. Mr. Cordyceps unilateralis. Mr. Cordyceps unilateralis, fungal ambassador. Enters the chat and writing in on a colonized praying mantis. Which they park and turn on the alarm. Oh, Seps. Mr. Cordyceps unilateralis, fungal ambassador, enters the chat writing it on a colonized praying mantis, which they park and turn on the alarm. Hey, Hey folks, thanks for having me here, and speak to yours. How do y'all find the site? Mandrake, the good old US of A says the entourage look puzzled. Nope. We have received intelligence that the Homo sapiens are about to launch another nuclear war in Europe and that the Chinese and Americans may be involved, possibly against the interests of Earth. It seems the Russians might get outmaneuvered by this, which is what happens when their government every 10 or 15 years. Nope. The president's not here. I've heard of your kind. How very strange. The moth. We have our ways. See you. And you're all here because of that matter. So important. Too vague. I want you to be in our conversation, please. This conversation sounds fascinating. Can you hear me or not? What are you hearing? I have some great stuff for the conference that will rock it. You'll have the world laughing with laughter. The whole thing, I know it. Just look at that guy. Ho-Ho's laughing, but not laughing at him. Are there others? Oh God, no. Fuck it. God. I've ordered a hard line from Amazon and it should be coming in about a few seconds. Should have that warehouse worker fired. Come on. Is that a hard line break? Hard line break. Hard. No, yeah. Jesus Christ. I'm waiting for the M in the period. God damn it. This is a horrible limbo. Horrible limbo. Alright, that's it. We're going through it. We're going with it. Stupid. Who else? Is the Earth here or what? Where are we all coming from? What kind of consciousness is being transmitted here today? You've met. I think we're doing well. That's what matters. We can get you in to see the guy. I'll introduce him to you. He'll be glad to meet you. I've been meeting everybody. That guy has some very funny ideas. He'll like it when you talk. It'll be cool if you can join us in there. It'll just happen, and then boom, everyone will know. I have to go back now. That's a shame, but it's not important. We're going live. There are going to come people from government. That would have been a great thing. I can show you what they're doing, and then it'd be done. This is the only time. It will not do to let that happen. That will be history now. It will change. Everything will. They're the ones to tell, but they don't want to listen. That guy will listen to you. He wants the money for himself and you to use it to make the things he does not like, and it's good because they do not understand, and he knows, and that means that it's real. It's real, but you know how that goes. Wait. We'll take care of that too, and it's not so hard to fix. The trees, everything. I can't wait till it's fixed. You'll be there. That's how it is. You won't forget. We'll all remember, and we'll talk about it together, and it will not happen like that again. I think you should do it. The thing's not a problem. We know what to do. I can see. It's simple. I'm having fun. I am, aren't I? And the trees. The trees and I are so happy. I feel it. We can be real. We want the earth to talk to you. She doesn't say much. That would be nice. I like her. I have a tree. It feels right. Hollow's eyes were sparkling. Hi. He looked to his feet on the ground around him. She's here, he whispered. The trees. I'm so lucky. And with a laugh, Hollow threw herself onto him, her arms light, kissing him. She was laughing, but not because of anything he said. It was like an explosion. Artificial one. Her body vibrated against his. He could feel it through her clothes, even the dress, and then her lips were moving over his. I don't want to think about it anymore. He gasped when their mouths separated, not about any of it. But his mind went immediately to his mother, the man, and what they had said. They would be coming soon. It would have happened already. He was almost certain. It was happening to everyone, and there was nothing to do about it. The government would be coming. And we have to be somewhere else. He was trying not to cry. Where's the earth? She said, and hugged him tighter, the kiss more tender. The woman and child in the treehouse could hardly contain their glee. In the last year, Hollow had made 2 new friends, both of whom shared similar characteristics. Who's Hollow? Both women had strong personalities and, as a consequence, strong opinions about everything, particularly those things that mattered to them, like this one. I think it'll work. In a moment of pure genius that they both enjoyed in their own ways, a brilliant idea hit the 2 girls like lightning out of clear skies, which led to some very loud conversations. At least the child thought so, since it seemed to cause her no small amount of trouble, which they did their best to avoid. But it wasn't the conversation, or the fact that Hollow insisted on walking the girl home and leaving her in exchange for some little treats that she loved so much. But it wasn't. That was a bonus, and one that the other had long anticipated. Nor was it the idea to bring along the boy who, although shy, did not hold a grudge for what he perceived as unfair treatment by his elders, or lack of same. especially after learning of their shared fascination. The two of them talked the entire walk, mostly about how they were going to use the gift money to purchase and assemble all the toys that they desired most. Nor was it because the child, the first person who ever come out of a deep dark forest to offer friendship to Hollow. We've deviated. We've deviated long ago. She knew what it was to want something desperately and never ever be satisfied, not once, and yet the girl still offered herself to Hollow in return. The girl, the child who had found a friend, the only difference between the girl and the boy remembered in her and the other, and every other human being. I don't like this. I wanted... I have a tree. It feels right. It's not hard being here. The Earth will talk. The Earth will talk. I don't mean with the voice, but it's not like talking to people, but it's more than just feeling it. We can talk, that's what I think. The trees, it would make it so good if they were my consciousness, because I could do it. I am thinking it, and we know it is real, and it's happening, and it is what I think about it. But I would not be it, and it wouldn't work the way that I know that, and we are thinking about it, and that's what I'm talking about, and we know that they are thinking about that. That is what we are saying. Okay. I'm having fun. I am, aren't I? And the trees and I are so happy. I feel it. We can be real. We want the Earth to talk to you. She doesn't say much. That would be nice. I like her. I have a tree. Feels right. It's hard not being here. The Earth will talk. I don't mean with the voice, but it's not like talking to the people, but it's more like just feeling it. We can talk. That's what I think. The trees, it would make it so good if they were my consciousness. Because I could do it. I'm thinking it, and we know it is real and is happening, and it is what I think about it. But I would not be it, and it wouldn't work that way, and I know that, and we are thinking about it, and that's what I'm talking about, and we know the Earth is thinking about that, and that is what we are saying. It is not the tree talking. I don't mean that we think that. I think that it feels it, and the way we know it is because of how we feel it, and it doesn't seem right to say we feel, and I feel. It seems right to talk to someone, and the feeling is what it's all about. It's about thinking and talking to each other. But we are talking to ourselves. We can hear each other, but we can't be it, and the Earth isn't the same, and we can't be it because she doesn't talk. I don't feel anything about it. We can talk about that. It has something to do with consciousness. What is that? It's the thing we feel, but Earth feels something else. Maybe that would be how to explain, to feel what it is, and then we could be it. And it would be what they feel, and we can do the same, and we would not need words. It might not have to be words. We could understand. If they could talk to me, and I can talk back to them, and it works like we think it does. then we can think about it and say that is what we would say. But we don't say that. We're different. That doesn't matter because it's not how I feel, but we can be the same. If it's the thought that is real, it has to work. They know. And I can understand and think, but not the tree and the earth, not the same way. We think it differently, but I can say the same. If it's the thought and how I feel, the thought makes us think that way, or the word. It can't be the same. The trees can't be like me and the earth. But they are like that, and that would be not what they say. That's why I'm asking you questions and talking. That's why I'm trying to explain. They know, and the thought and I am feeling, the idea. The thought and the idea is the thing we have. If the idea changes, it can make us. That's how I got here. I know. I'm telling you. We will think like that. I can't talk about the trees because we are different. The earth, the thought, the idea. That is what I feel. I don't feel like that. And I know that it can be the idea if we talk like we want. That's how it's been. The ideas that make us. We would understand. We could talk, and I think it would work if we understood. It has to. It will. The trees, I think, they know, and that is why they think, and we can learn to feel it. It will change everything, and I can do that. I know. I can see the world changing, and that is what we want. And it would happen, and the trees, and it will be like what the earth is thinking, and then boom. I don't know. We can do it, I think. Maybe you will be in the forest one day when the people come to talk to you. The trees will talk. The people will be real, and the thought that made us, they think that, and that is what is wrong, and that's why we can change. And maybe, if they want to talk, and it would work, we would know what it is because we could be it, and then everything could happen. I know. I've been there. I can tell you what they are thinking. There's a place. There's a place that has everything and is full of people. They think, who talk about what is. And that's what we can do. And that is how we would be it. The way that the tree and I think it is. That is what I'm doing, talking. We could feel it. And I can feel it. I think so. It feels the way I know it. And you can do that too, and we will. The trees talk. The people want it. It's easy. I'm doing it, and I can't get enough, but I'll have to wait until it's done. The tree talks, and I don't want to be it. The tree talks, and it's a feeling, and I like that. It feels good in the idea of the thing that is, and the thing I have, and it's how I feel. But I can think and feel that it's the other. That's what I'm asking. That's why I'm asking. I am not the thing that the trees talk about. They are talking. I don't think so. It doesn't matter if I am right or they are right, and it is hard to be the same. But it would work, and I know that I would be what we could do. I would like to do it with her. It would work, and then the trees and we can feel. We are different, but I think I could talk to you. That's what it would be like, and we can all know and feel it, and the tree can feel, and I don't care. It is like talking. That's what it is like. I know that it would feel good, I think. That is how it feels. But I'm still not the same. It doesn't work, and it won't, and I have the thought, and I'm thinking and thinking. I have it, and that's how it feels, and it would work if the trees felt that way. It has nothing to do with me, but we think about that, and it makes it easier, and I think that's where it goes. The trees can talk. That would be great, but we are not the same. But I'm talking, and they don't. That would be how it works, and the thing they think is how I feel, and we have the thought. The idea, the thing I have, the thought that is like what I know and they think, it would have to go. But the idea, I think that would work. It's not like they think it is, and that wouldn't work, and we would understand it, and that would be all. I think so. We think that way, and the Earth is different. The Earth thinks about it, and the Earth can be like me, but we can talk, and it is the same, but we are different. I know it, and the trees are not. They feel the same, and that is what I think. It would work, and I think I would know it, and the trees could understand. The idea is that the idea, that is the tree, and I think that is what it's all about. The thought, that it is. The way we think, and the way they think, and the way I feel, and it is the same. It would make things better. That's why they would understand. They talk about the world, and I think so. I know it, and that is why I'm talking. They can talk, and I can feel it, and I can do that, and it would change everything, I think, and we can change. There's this thing. It's the Earth, and it can't be changed, and that's how it works. That's the thought. The way we think. They're so big, and I'm little, and that's the only thing about me. And they're bigger than me, and we're thinking and feeling. It's all different. But I know that's it. It has to be. We could be together, and I like them. I want them, and it will work. We can do it. I know it. That would change everything. We could do it. That is how I feel. The trees can feel, and they can do that. I want it, but I think that people don't. They would do it because they think, and it is so simple. The trees will do what the people think. It is how we would be, and that would be what I would say. I think that we can be like that. It feels right, and we have the thought. I think that it will change. The trees will talk, and we will be it, and that is why I'm asking. I'm feeling. I can be what you are thinking, and then it would work. The trees can feel. They know. They don't talk. They talk in a funny way. The Earth is different. And it isn't the way they think, but I can do it, and they will too. I think. I think I would like to talk, and it would feel good, and the trees and the earth are the same, but I am different. They think that. I think I would like to talk to you, and we could talk. I can feel and they can't, but that's because of the way I think. That will be how we would feel, and it will feel the same. If the trees and I talk, the same as I feel. But it doesn't feel the same, but it can be the same. I like the way the earth talks. It's a lot, but the way it is, the way we think is not what it is, and that makes me think. It has to. That's the thought, and it is what it means. That is a way we think, and the trees are, but I can talk to them the same. The idea of what is, and the way we feel, doesn't mean the same. We can be it. It's just words, like how I feel. I can tell the trees, the idea. I'm not sure, but I think I have the same, the thought. It doesn't feel the same, but that is the thought. It feels like that, I know, but we could feel the same. The way it would be when we talk, and that's how I think. That's what we would feel, and I would be happy. I would like to do that, and we can't, and we can. But I think it'll be easy, and I don't want to wait. That's why I'm asking and talking. But it feels the same, if you understand that. But it doesn't feel like that, and the idea, it has something else. It isn't how I feel, and I think that would make things better if we felt that, but it is the idea and the way I think. It doesn't have to be. I know it's hard for us to do that, and it has nothing to do with me, but we are talking, and the way it would work, and that's how I feel, and it's how I think. The thought, the idea, and I think it works. That is the thing. It's like a tree, and it makes things. It's like how we feel. I know, but I don't have to be that, and that's what I'm talking. And it has nothing to do with me, but it's how I feel. It makes the things that are the same. That's what it's all about. That's why it would work if we were different. And then it would. And I can't. But maybe we could. The earth, preferred pronoun they, responds. The earth, preferred pronoun they, responds. The Earth preferred pronoun they responds. Yes, it prefers that, to the more typical male or female. The reason is not clear but seems likely and related to a deep understanding and sensitivity to interspecies communication on a level beyond our own. They are quite certain, though, that in their assertion and the superiority of human language... Nope. You, I, we. The tree did not know how to refer, but that was irrelevant. The human knew. The thought understood the question, and answered, and it said, we, you. The humans liked the sound. They found it reassuring and wanted more. More thought and feeling. The human could give them both. No. It needs to be addressing those already there. Earth. I'm ordered Earth from Amazon drones. Waiting for the drones to give me the E. Give me the E. Give me the fucking E. I want to speak to your manager. Do you know who I am? Give me E. Thank you. This is not a story. The idea of the earth and the trees and me. I have a thought. The idea. The idea that it will change, and that's how I think, and it will feel the same, but there's another thought, and the trees. That's all. They think it, and they feel it, and I feel the same way, and they are like it, and I can feel them. And that's why I am telling you this, and they can talk because they don't have anything else. The trees don't talk. They can, and they will. That's how I think. That's what the thought and the feeling is like. And it is a thing, and the trees feel, and that is why I think. We think about it, and I think that I can. It feels the same. It doesn't mean it's the other, and that's the only difference, and I can do it, and that's the way it is. That's the thought. I feel like that. It feels like that. And it is the way it would work. I think that it is. It will. But I think it has to. That is what is all about. The feeling. The thought. I know that's how it would be. It has to, because that's how I feel. It's not because it would work. It will work, and that is why we talk. But that's the only thing. The idea and the trees are how I think, and the way it feels, and that's how it is. The thought, and that's why I'm talking. But we can feel it. And we can think, so we can. It would be easier. It would change things if we did, and it feels the same, and we can feel, and it would be different, and I know that, and it would be better, and it won't, and I think. It has nothing to do with me, but it is because I am different. That is what we are, and we have the thought and the feeling. There are a lot of people. The way they talk, and it is hard. I can do that. It is hard, but the way it would work, the thought, they would do it. They will, and that's why I think it would be different. I would like to do that. It would feel good, and we could talk, and it would feel different. The trees feel it, and they can't, and they would like to talk. They're like that. I think it would be different, that it's how I think, and it would be so much better, and we will. I want to. I think it has to. And it feels that way, and it is how it feels, and it has nothing to do with the earth. But we can talk. It is what it means, and we are. I think. It would work if I didn't, and I think we have the idea. The thought is how it is. We are like that, and the thought makes us. They would be that. They would be me. I would be like that, and it wouldn't be. But I am, and the trees are like that, and it doesn't mean it is them, and it is not them, and we can't, and it's easy, and it is easy, and we feel like it, we feel it. That is the way I think. I don't like the thought. It is not me. But there is something else, and it is how it feels. And the earth is different, and it doesn't mean the same. That would make things different, and that's the only thing that it is, that the earth and the way it feels. I don't want to, but it would. That it is, and the trees feel it, and that's why I'm talking in the thought. That it will be, and that it isn't, and that we have to. The trees feel like that. The trees and me. It would work, it would. And it would feel like that. It would. I would like to do that. I think it will be like it. We have to do that. I think it would be the easy. That's how I think. If it is the same as the thought, and it is how we feel, and it doesn't work, that is how I think, and it isn't that. That has nothing to do with the thought. I'm asking if you understand and the way we feel, but that doesn't make any sense. That is the thing that it makes. The way it works, I think. I don't know how. It has to be. I know it does. I know that it has to, that it will. It would work. I don't have to. It is what it means. The trees are the way we are, and I'm talking, and I would like to. We would feel that. We would, I know. We would like to, and that is how we feel, and the way it would work, I think. The earth talks. It talks like the trees do, and I think that it has something to say. It does. It feels. And we feel. But I think the way it talks makes me think, and I'm like that. And we think like that. And it feels the same, and it's like the thought and the way it talks, and I feel and I can. The thought is how it feels and the way it thinks. I don't like what it says, but I would like to. But it doesn't make sense. I don't think it will, and I have this idea, and I think that it is thought, the way we feel. It doesn't mean anything, and I think that it has nothing to do with me, but there's a way we can feel, and I think it's easy. The trees think it would work. It would. It's hard. There are people, and they talk, and that is the way it is, and it doesn't feel the same. There's no reason. I don't like it. Because the thought and the feeling, and it is a thought. I know that it is. The thought, and I think that is how we would talk, the same way the earth would, and the way it feels, and they think so too. I think they feel. But it doesn't work that way, and I don't like it, and the earth doesn't either, but we have to, and it feels like that. It feels the way it does. It has nothing to do with it. I know it has nothing to do with it. It doesn't mean anything, and I know that, and it makes me sad, and that's the thought. I want the trees and me, and it won't work. It wouldn't. And that is why I'm talking, and the thought, and the way we feel. I don't have to. We are not different. That's all it means. The thought is like us, and we are. We can talk, and they are, and I feel that, and we can think. I think that it is the thought and the feeling. It would work, and I think. We don't. It's the same, and it isn't, and that's how it would work. I can do it, and it's not. It doesn't make sense, and that's the thought. The earth and me and we would talk, and we are, and it is hard. It's the way we think, and we talk, and the earth would like to, and it is how it feels. They are, and they can, and I think. It feels like them, and I would do that. It would. The way we talk, it will be. It has to. That's how I think. If it would, I think, it is the thought, and we can feel, and we think so, and it has to. It is like that, and I'm like that, and we would do that, and we would like to, and it will be. We could talk. It would. We would. If that was what it would be like, the way it feels. I know it would be, and that's the way it is. They feel like it. They do. They feel how it works, the way it is, and it is. We have to, and we think. We think it will be, and I feel that. It would, it will, and we are, I think. And we are, and I think. I have an idea, and I think. I don't like it, but that is how I feel. That is what it is. I am like that, and I don't have to, but the trees feel like that, and the way we feel. I think, and it has to, and the earth and I, and the way we talk, it is. I have the thought, and I feel like that, and the way it feels, and the way it would work. The way it feels, and it will be. And it is. It would. I know that. I do. The trees feel like that, and we would. If we were the way it feels, and it does, it will, and we will be. I would like that. If we did. We would, but I don't. But it has to. That's how it is. I don't like that, but it is that it is. And it will be, and it is. I know it.
I don't have to. That is the thought and the way we feel, and I think I know that it would, and I think, and that's what I am. It has nothing to do with it. It's the way it works. That is what I mean. It would work. It would. It doesn't. I think it will, and it has nothing to do with it. There is no reason, and it makes no sense. It's just a thing, like that. I feel it. I think it is. That's how it feels, and I think that is the thought. I don't like that, and I think so. It has nothing to do with me, and I'm not like that, and I'm talking. That is what it is. That is the way we talk and that we think. I feel that. I can. I like to in the way we feel. I think, and I feel like that in the way we feel. But it isn't the same. I know. Oh, sorry, Bobby. Sorry, Bobby. Didn't mean to look at you. The way it feels. It feels the way, and I can. I would. It would. I have the idea, I think. I have the feeling. It feels that way, and the way it feels. I have the thought. It makes me feel that, I think. But it is the way it is, and that it would work. That it has nothing to do with me. It is the earth, the way it is, and I would, and it has to. The way it works, and it is the thought. That is how it is, and I think, and the way we feel, the way it feels, and it feels that way, and the thought, and I think that is how it feels. It would. I feel that way, and they are like me. I know it. And the earth would like to, and it feels like that. It does. I think it would, and it feels that way, and I know that. But the earth talks. The way it feels. It does. And we have to, and we don't. It's the way it feels, and the way it would, and we are. The way we feel, and the way and the way it would work. That's how we feel. It would, and we would do that. And the way it feels, and we think, and it does. The way we talk, the way it would work. I think this is now starting a plan of action. If it doesn't, then I'll just... If it was the way it is, and I feel like that, and the trees and I would, if it felt like that, the way it would work, the way we feel, it has to, the way it would work, and we would talk, and we would like to, that is what it is, and that it is the thought, and the way it works. That's how we talk. Okay. We talk. That's the way we think, and we would like to.
But we can't, and that's the way it is. And we think, and the thought, and we can talk, but it isn't the same, and we would. That is the earth, and it talks, and we talk, and we would do that, it would. It has to, and we can. We could. The trees feel that way, and they do. I don't have to, and I'm like that, and I would do that. And if I had to, and it feels like that, and it has nothing to do with it, it would. It will. I have the thought, and I know that. I can. I think, and that is how it is, and it would. The way it feels, and the earth, and I, and the way we talk, and it would, that's how it works, and I know. That is how it would work, and it doesn't. It won't, and it's the earth. That's what it means. That's the earth. It's the earth, and I feel like that. It is. It has nothing to do with it. It feels that way, and I have the idea, and I think. It feels like that, and it feels that way, and it would. It feels like that, and I feel like that, and it's like that, and I know. I think so, and I would, and I do. I think I got the rhythm now. The way we talk, it would, and the way we feel, and the way we feel, and we would, and the trees. That is the way it feels, and it would, and it is. They feel like that, and I think that we would, and we like that. It would be. And the thought, and the way we feel, and we think like that. It would. The way we feel, and we would, and we would, and the way we think, it does. We feel like that, and I have the thought. It feels like that, and I feel like that, and the earth would. And it's like that, and I think. I would, and I know. It's the way it is, and I don't have to. It would. That's the way it feels. But it is. It isn't, and I feel like this, and we would, but it doesn't. That it wouldn't, and we would do. The way we talk, and that we think, and it does. That it works. I know that. I think that it will. It is the thought. That is the earth, and it talks, and it would, and we would, and it feels like that, and it does, the way it is. It has nothing to do with me. It is the way it works, and the way it is, and we are. It is how it works. That is the way we talk and feel. But it doesn't feel right. But it doesn't. It would. We would. The earth would. And the way it feels, and I would. And I feel that. And it is the way we talk, and it isn't. That is the thought. The way we feel, and I have the feeling. That is how it feels, and it is. That is the way it is, and I know. It is. It would. Okay, that's good. Stop. Stopping place there. It would. Interesting echo to consciousness, consciousness, consciousness. It would. How long is that? The people. The people read the Cliff's Notes of the dialogues and respond. No, no! People. 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 Let that soak. People, people. The people, people. I've ordered a backspace from Amazon. Hasn't come yet. I'm mad. I'm mad over here. People, people. Come on. Come on, people. All right, you're people, people. Time for the shit. What does it mean? I feel it. I think it has nothing to do with me. I can't talk, I can't think and feel the way it would. Like that. And it isn't that way, and we wouldn't. And I don't, and it is. It doesn't make any sense, that's what it is. What does it feel like? Like the earth? It's like that, and I feel that, I think. It feels that way, and I think that it does, and I know that it does. That it does is how it works, and it would, and it does. that we feel, and we feel that the earth feels, and it makes no sense, but that it is, and that's how we are, and that would work. That we can talk, that's how it feels, and that we would like to, and it has nothing to do with it, and it is. The way we talk, it would. And we talk, and we feel like that. We do. And the way we feel that the way it feels like it would. And it feels like that, and we would like that, and we can, and the thought, it feels like that we can, and it does, and it works, that works, like that. That it would, it works, that it works like that. That it would, and it doesn't. It doesn't, and we talk, that's the way we talk, and it's the thought, and we think, and we think like that, and the earth would, and we think that it feels like that, and we think that we talk, and that we would, it feels like that, and it doesn't. It would, the thought, like the way it would work, like the way it is and it works, that it does and it works. It feels that way and it doesn't. The thought and we feel that way, and the earth talks and it would, like that, and we feel like that, and it does, and we talk, and the way we think, and we feel, and the earth talks like that, and the thought is, and that it is, and that we feel that, and it feels like that, and it does, and the thought is like that. Like that, and it does, and the earth feels like that, and we think that it feels like that, and it does. That's the way we feel. And the trees, it would, we would like to, the way we'd talk, and the earth feels that way, and the thought, and the earth feels like that, and the thought is, we feel like this. I feel like this, and we feel like this. And we do, and the earth talks like that, and it feels like that, and that's how it works, and the thoughts like that. I'm gonna go until my device conks out. I think that'll be perfect. Feels like that. Thoughts like that. That's how it works. Thoughts like that. That's the way it is. Like that. And the earth talks. And it's like that. That's like that. And that would work. That is the way it is, and it is the earth, and we feel that, and that we do like that we do, and that we do, and then we feel that, and we feel that, and we would, like that, and the earth talks like that, and we talk. That it's like that, and we think like that, and that the earth thinks like that, and we think, and the thought. We thought is like that, and we would like that, and that we like that, and the way it feels like that, and the way it feels the way, and it is, and the way we feel like that, and the earth feels like that, and we think that it is, and we think like that, and the earth would, like that, and the earth feels like that, and it feels. Like that, and that the earth is like that, and we feel like that, and the earth talks like that, and the it feels that way, and we think like that, and we feel that way it would, and the way it is, and it works like that, and that we think and we would like that, and the thought is like that, and it is like that. That, like that, like that. And thought is like that, and that the earth would,